It's the opening weekend for Big Ten women's soccer. Today it's the Purdue Boilermakers hosting the 19th-ranked Iowa Hawkeyes. Mike Folta and Unique Beaver here alongside you at Folk Field in West Lafayette. There you see the starters for the visiting Iowa Hawkeyes. Iowa coming into today at 9-0-0. Unique. They have been very good so far, and they've got some outstanding playmakers.
Yeah, of course. We need to focus on Hannah Drakulik. She has 4 goals this season. She's one of the other 3 top scorers, and she's very lethal. She's 70% on shots on goal. She's 7 shots on goal out of 10. You know, that's pretty good, especially it's only the beginning of the season. So
definitely a high percentage shooter in Hannah Drakulik. This was the ceremony from earlier today. Purdue honoring its seniors. Enna Sabanagich from Hanover Park, Illinois. Maddie Duncan from Danville, California. Brady Riley, a Fishers, Indiana native. Ryan Dudica from Naperville, Illinois. Brianna Robbins from Darien, Illinois. And also Sam Slagle getting honored today from Solon, Ohio. It'll be Melchiori Griffith, Allie Melky, Liana Rabimbis, and Chloe Woodback listed as those 5 attackers for Coach Drew Roth, with Mo Bova in goal, the sophomore who's had an outstanding year so far in net for the Boilermakers. We're underway here at Folk Field, and possession starts out with Purdue. It's Julia Ware in the back end. Ware across midfield, and that's taken away momentarily. That was Samantha Carey, and now it's back with Woodbeck in Purdue. Like we mentioned, Iowa coming into today undefeated so far and ranked 19th in the AP polls. That is the highest they have been ranked in the AP polls in their program's history. An outstanding season so far, coming off a win a couple nights ago down in Bloomington against the Hoosiers. That was a 2-0 victory for the Hawkeyes. This is Whitaker playing it back for Drakulik, and now up ahead for Isabella Blackman. Hawes worked off the ball, and this is the freshman Chloe Woodbeck, one of a couple freshmen to see significant playing time for Coach Drew Roth in Purdue. Sydney Sparks, another freshman, along with Liana Rabimbis. Rabimbis, the leading scorer for Purdue so far, with 3 goals and 2 assists on the season. Nice moves by Whitaker, getting it up to Blackman. And now in the back for Sarah Wheaton. This is Samantha Carey. And now Whitaker. Up ahead has Heigelheimer. And that ball a little too far that time for Jenny Cape. Now this is Melchiori for Purdue. Heigelheimer on it once again. Bumped by Melchiori. Iowa themselves is a very physical team. They've had 7 yellow cards called against them so far this season. We expect this to be a physical contest. And this foul goes against Sydney Duarte and Purdue.
you're also mentioning how aggressive Iowa is. It's very surprising because the teams that their opponents have half of what Iowa has foul-wise. So it'd be very interesting to see towards the rest of the season how aggressive they are going to be, as well as opposed to how they can make their opponents aggressive.
This will be a goal kick for Marissa Bova. Bova has been outstanding so far this year for Purdue. Sophomore from Heartland, Wisconsin. She will send it away from her own goalie box. Bova with 5 shutouts so far this year. Sends it away, and now a foul is called against Iowa. Hawkeyes have had over 100 fouls called against them. That was kind of what you were alluding to, Unique. Very physical and very aggressive brand of soccer. And that's what's gotten them to 9-0 so far. There's a nice tackle from Natalie Winters. Woodbeck can't control it, and it's back with Heigelheimer. Blackman ahead for, this is Kylie Hawes. And then too far for Devin Burns. And we will get a goal kick once again. Another thing to note with this Iowa team is their experience. They have the most seniors on their squad out of any team in the country. 12 seniors. And that leadership has shown, and their seniors are among their best players. And you look at Devin Burns and Kaylee Hawes, Natalie Winters, and also Hannah Drakulik. This is back for Samantha Carey. Now Burns playing it to the side, but just out of the reach of Jenny Cape. This will be a throw for Purdue. Ware looking for Sarah Griffiths, and she plays it up the near wing. Too far for Melchiori. And it goes back to Iowa. Couple minutes in, and we've had some exchanged possessions. Nothing too sustained for either side.
I think right now just the passing is what's hurting both teams. They have very good passes, but once they try to make the push forward, it either is going out or another defender is getting it. So I think that's just the thing that both teams need to work on right now. Both sides feeling each other out here a little bit early on our opening weekend of Big Ten women's soccer. Both teams 1-0-0 in conference play. Purdue on Friday night took down Nebraska here at Folk Field. That was a 1-0 victory for the Boilermakers. Interception there by Jenny Cape, able to get it back momentarily to Burns, but then Duarte takes it away for Purdue. Woodbeck left that one a bit short, looking for Melchiori. And now some physical play from the freshman Chloe Woodbeck. She wins it back. Sarah Griffiths, Purdue entering the offensive third. Fancy footwork from Griffiths, trying to lead Rabimbis, but Rabimbis unable to link up with Sarah Griffiths, and it's scooped up by Claire Graves, the netminder for Iowa. Graves has been excellent in her own right here at Iowa. Another senior. Over the course of her Hawkeye career, she's made 22 shutouts. Has a number of them this season. Native of Noblesville, Indiana, so playing in her native state here in West Lafayette. Blackman gets it back and ahead for Kaylee Hawes. Hawes on the ball, being worked on by Duarte. Now to the side for Hawes once again. This is Drakulik. Now Iowa gets it back to Whitaker. Whitaker unable to keep it away or move it past Hannah Melchiori, but Iowa stays on and maintains possession. Hawes crossing one into the box, and it's knocked away by Patrick. Duarte gets there for Purdue, but it's back with Hawes in Iowa. There's a ball right at Bova, and Mo Bova makes the save right at her chin. First shot of the day from Iowa. You see the ability of some of these Hawkeye attackers, namely Kaylee Hawes on that last possession. Able to maintain possession of the ball and work a shot on goal. Now she's on it again. Trying to get past Grace Walsh on that far wing. But this will be a throw for Walsh in Purdue. This is Allie Melke. And that pass intercepted by Heigelheimer. Heigelheimer into the middle. Has some space now, tries one from about 25 yards out, and that is over the crossbar. No save needed from Mo Bova. The aggression of Iowa beginning to manifest here early on. Melina Heigelheimer taking a chance from relatively far distance with defenders in front. Now this is Duarte for Purdue. Loses it to Heigelheimer, and it comes out to Jenny Cape. Into the middle for Burns, but it's taken away by that Purdue back line. And this is Julia Ware ahead for Griffiths. And Griffiths sends it our way up here in the press box, well out of bounds. A throw for Samantha Carey and the Hawkeyes.
Carey, a freshman from St. Charles, Missouri. Getting to start with a number of upperclassmen for this experienced Hawkeye unit. But Coach Diani likes what he sees in Carey. She's seen lots of minutes so far this season. Throw into the middle, and that ends up back with Iowa. It'll go to Drakulik on that far wing. Long pass up ahead for Burns, and Burns can't get to it. Instead, it's Julia Ware. Ware has played defense very well for Coach Drew Roth and Purdue, especially this season. One of the leaders on that defensive line, along with the talented Skylar Patrick, who was given preseason Big Ten honors. Nice play there by Kaylee Hawes. Burns fighting for it, and we get a whistle. I believe a handball might have been called against Chloe Woodbeck.
Definitely looks like a handball.
So Iowa with possession. This game last year was a 1-1 draw in Iowa City. But the two teams have had different seasons, as you'd expect, here in 2019. Of course, Iowa undefeated, and Purdue at 5-2-1 and 1-0 in the Big Ten. The Boilers with wins over Georgia, Toledo, DePaul, Iowa State, and also against the conference opponent Nebraska. Purdue's only two losses have come to very good teams. Ranked opponents, they lost to 7th-ranked South Carolina and 11th-ranked Kansas in the Boilermaker Challenge Cup a few weeks ago. This will be a goal kick for Mo Bova after that ball goes over the end line. Here you see Marissa Bova's numbers. Excellent save percentage this year. And four of those goals came in two games that she's given up. Gave up 2 to the Gamecocks from South Carolina and 2 to the Kansas Jayhawks. Carey boots it forward, but Grace Walsh sends it back Carey's way. And now Carey able to dump it off to Kate, but a nice defensive play there by Julia Ware. And now Sarah Griffiths. That ball knocked away by Heigelheimer. Heigelheimer still on it, and it's nudged out of bounds by Julia Ware. Carey with the toss in, and it's bumped out of bounds by Sydney Duarte. Iowa beginning to hang on to some possession here in the attacking third going against Purdue. And we are getting an Iowa sub. This is Olivia Fiegel, a senior from Springfield, Virginia. She checks in for Jenny Cape. So Fiegel into the game for Coach Diani and the Hawkeyes. Now Melchiori trying to clear it out, and Duarte with a nice header that just barely bounces by Natalie Winters. Now Winters back on it. Back to Drakulik. Drakulik has the ability to run the offense from that back line for this Iowa team. 4 goals already this season. Now Griffiths trying to intercept a pass, but it's back with Blackman and the Hawkeyes. Hawes working on Walsh. Can't get past Skylar Patrick. Nice tackle from Patrick. She boots it into the parking lot, and it's a throw for Iowa. Hawes worked off the ball there by Patrick, or rather Grace Walsh. And now Blackman turns on a dime to get away from Griffiths. On the far wing, across into the box. It's headed out by Chloe Woodbeck. Or rather Sydney Sparks, actually, the freshman using her size. Shot is gobbled up by Bova. No problems for the sophomore. But some more pressure from this Iowa team. confident and authoritative on offense. Foul called against Isabella Blackman. Purdue will get a chance at a free kick to try and set up some possession inside their offensive territory. Sparks sends it towards the box, looking for Rubimbis, and Drakulik heads it back the other way, out of bounds. So Ali Melky will throw it in. Melky just tosses it back to Walsh. Walsh back for Melky. And now Melky towards the top of the 18, looking for Melchiori. Melchiori gets there on the near side into the corner and sends it off of Samantha Carey and over the end line. So this will be the first corner kick of the game for Purdue. It'll be taken by Melky.
Right now, this is a situation where Iowa needs to look out for Hannah Melchiori, because right there, she's right now in front of the goalie. And in the past games, we've seen her score off goals just like this on a corner kick.
Looks like she's screening Graves. The ball in from Melky. Bounces off of Drakulik. Ware sends it with her right foot somewhat towards the net. And Carey now battling with the freshman Rubimbis. And a foul is called against Liana Rubimbis. It'll be a free kick for Iowa. So nothing coming of the corner for Purdue. Sent towards the middle, and Woodbeck is there, trying to head it to Griffiths, but it's taken away by Winters. Now Devin Burns. Long pass ahead for Fiegel. Olivia Fiegel gets there in the corner. Trying to get past Ware. Fiegel still on the ball. Into the box, but couldn't get enough on it, and Sarah Griffiths comes up with it, although she turns it right back over to the Hawkeyes. Now Carey sends one to the far post, and Bova just lets it bounce over the end line and out. This Iowa team loves to be aggressive on offense. They've outscored opponents 27-7 so far this season, and they've outshot their opponents 156-54. They send it towards the net a lot. Now Fiegel taken off the ball nicely by Sydney Duarte. Duarte trying to lob it for Melchiori, and Melchiori gets there, looking to play it to herself, but has trouble getting around Riley Whitaker. Whitaker, some nice defensive work, and it's kicked out of bounds by Hannah Melchiori. Another throw for Iowa. So far, Iowa with wins over Western Michigan, Northern Iowa, Iowa State, Illinois State, then a ranked NC State team. That was a 1-0 win for Iowa. NC State was ranked 14th at the time. Hawkeyes also had a win at UNC Greensboro, and then against Northern Colorado and at Notre Dame. Most recently, a 2-0 victory down in Bloomington against the Hoosiers in conference play. Rubimbis playing it back, looking for Chloe Woodbeck, and it's taken away by Natalie Winters. Now this is Fiegel with some space on the near wing. Tricky play trying to get it to Burns, but Sydney Sparks was ready for it, and here comes Purdue the other way with Sarah Griffiths. Griffiths with a nifty move around Drakulik and a long lead for Ali Melky. Melky into the box for Purdue on the far side, trying to cross it in, but Whitaker takes it right away from the Hawkeyes. Back with Iowa. Fiegel able to get past Julia Ware. Fiegel has had space multiple times now in this game since she entered a couple minutes ago. Tries to play it towards the net, but was hit hard. Julia Ware and Sydney Sparks there on the scene. And now they say this is going off of Purdue, I believe. So this will be a corner for Iowa to be taken by Natalie Winters. Winters is Iowa's set piece specialist. There you see Devin Burns in front of Mo Bova. Bova at 6'2", biggest player in the area. That's a good thing for Purdue. Winters sends it in, and Bova looks like she got a hand on it, and we'll have another corner. And they say Bova did not touch it, and so it'll be a goal kick. Looked like maybe Marissa Bova just got a hand on it to guide it away.
I thought she touched it a little bit because I thought the way it was coming, an Iowa player was like right behind her, getting ready to head it in.
Whatever the case, it's a goal kick for Bova and Purdue. Ball towards the middle. Hawes sends it towards Burns. Walsh working for it for the Boilers, and Skylar Patrick boots it right at Allie Melke. But it comes back to Heigelheimer. Hawes knocked to the turf here at Folk Field, and then it's booted down the field by Purdue. Back with Sarah Wheaton now. Wheaton looking for Kaylee Hawes, but that's too far, and it's out of bounds on that far side. Throw for Purdue. Bit of a windy afternoon here in West Lafayette. Wind blowing to the northeast. Per usual, in this area of the state, most of the weather comes from the southwest. But other than the wind, a very pleasant Sunday here in late September. Perfect for Big Ten women's soccer. Sparks goes down, but Ware gets to it for Purdue. Lofts a high one towards Rabimbus. Wheaton knocks it away for Iowa. And now a foul is called.
I think it was offsides. Was it?
I believe you are right.
Yeah.
The flag is up on this near side when Rabimbus touched it, so we will have a free kick here for Iowa. Heigelheimer gets one through the legs of Ware, looking for Fiegel, but the flag is up, and now an offside is called against Iowa.
So right now Purdue needs to watch for the through ball to Fiegel, because she's just been getting those passes just straight on the outside to cut in.
It's looked like Olivia Fiegel's had lots of space to work with on this near side, and Purdue has almost left Julia Ware on an island to kind of deal with Fiegel here on this near side, and a couple times Fiegel has got it into the box in close.
For sure. It just looks like Purdue's trying to push in towards the midfield, of course, to like post to the outside, and that's where Fiegel's just been attacking.
Blackman fighting for it for Iowa, but it comes out to Duarte. Now a long lead for Rabimbus, the freshman. Liana Rabimbus into the box. Trying to get around Wheaton. Rabimbus trying to stop and then start again, but Sarah Wheaton takes it away nicely for the Hawkeyes. We have some subs now for both teams. Gianna Gurley, the freshman from Las Vegas, checks in. And we also have Maya Lambert and Tegan Jones coming in for Purdue. Jones, a sophomore from Cary, Illinois, and Maya Lambert, a junior from Northbrook, Illinois. Lambert, a big part of what Purdue was doing defensively for the last 2 years. Hasn't seen as much playing time this year, but still reliable in the midfield for Purdue. She's been moved up by Coach Drew Roth. This is Blackman swinging it out wide. Now Drakulik looking for Devin Burns in the middle, but it was knocked away by Tegan Jones and out of bounds. So a throw for Hannah Drakulik. Drakulik was just the third ever Big Ten athlete to win both Offensive Player of the Week and Defensive Player of the Week in the same season. Senior from Windsor, Ontario, and also a biomedical engineering major. Drakulik is really a Swiss Army knife, can do it all.
For sure. It's funny how her actual position is like she's a defender, but at the same time, she's just willing to go and score the goal. So, that's why she got Offensive and Defensive Player of the Week.
So competent on offense, but so good with the ball in the back end. There's a lead into the middle. Too far for Burns. That was from Riley Whitaker. Not a bad ball, but Burns just couldn't get there. She had some space on the near post, but it just bounces to Marissa Bova. No harm for Purdue, and Bova sends it deep. Too far for Allie Melke. This is Drakulik. The Canadian up ahead. Connecting with Gurley. And Gurley misfires out of bounds. It'll be a throw for the Boilermakers. 2 more substitutions for Purdue. Enna Sabanagic, one of the seniors honored earlier today, comes in along with Ali Musellem. Sabanagic has had some nice production so far this season for Purdue, a goal and an assist, but has been very active in the Purdue offense so far here in 2019. Wheaton gets it up to Winters. Heigelheimer back for Blackman. Now to the near side, Samantha Carey. Carey takes up some space. Gets into the middle for Isabella Blackman. Winters. Blackman, and then too far looking for Heigelheimer. And Grace Walsh plays it high to the near side looking for Musellem. Fiegel keeps it in. Ware to Maya Lambert and back to Julia Ware. You see Iowa not willing to give Purdue an inch when the Boilers have the ball in their midfield and on defense. Gurley trying to get around. Grace Walsh has to play it back. Now it's Drakulik for Gurley, but a nice slide from Grace Walsh to break up the connection. And now another substitute for Iowa. This is Samantha Tafaru, sophomore from Green Bay, who's had a good season so far for Iowa. Tafaru with 3 goals and 2 assists on the season so far, coming off the bench for Coach Dave Diani. Now Gurley entering the box on the far side, and that's poked away by Enna Sabanagic. And this will be a corner for Iowa. Their second of the day. And this time, Riley Whitaker will take it.
Corner kick for the Hawkeyes, number 5, Riley Whitaker.
Right now, Iowa with 3 shots so far. Whitaker sends it to the far post, and that time I believe Bova did get a hand on it, and it will be a corner. We'll just flip the script, and it'll be taken from the other side now. Bova at 6'2", if she wants to, can just poke that out of danger. And this will be Natalie Winters to take it from the near side for the Hawkeyes. Musellem posed next to that corner to make sure Winters doesn't play it short. It's a low ball. Bova got a hand on it, but it deflects out, and Rabimbis gets it, trying to clear it out. Goes down hard, and Ali Musellem clears it deep.
Looked a little bit aggressive back there.
No foul called. Drakulik gets it back and plays it, but Patrick working it ahead for Purdue. This is Sabanagic, all alone, surrounded by yellow jerseys. Sabanagic into the far side, lofts one towards the net, and that lands on top of the cage. Sabanagic creating really the first scoring opportunity of any kind for Purdue. Landed just on top of the cage. Claire Graves, the Noblesville, Indiana native, didn't have to make a save. And now Ryan Dudica checks in for Purdue. She was another one of the seniors that was honored today. She comes in for Liana Rabimbis. Rabimbis a bit shaken up on the sideline. There you see Claire Graves' numbers. Both goalies outstanding statistical efforts so far this season.
Oh.
Patrick looked like she drilled Gianna Gurley right in the head. Gurley seems to be okay.
That one's gotta hurt.
Patrick's got quite a boot on her. She can really drill it. Dudica back for Sabanagic. The two seniors link up. Now Walsh showing her offensive prowess. Good passing from Purdue here. Sabanagic taken down hard on a clean tackle from Hannah Drakulik. Gurley worked off the ball by the senior Dudica, who gets it back to Grace Walsh. Now Gurley ahead, looking for Tafaru, but that's Skylar Patrick to run the ball down. And Bova sends it towards midfield. No score with about 15 and a half left to go in the first half between Iowa and Purdue. Both teams looking for their second Big Ten win. Iowa coming off a win against IU a couple nights ago, and Purdue with a 1-0 victory over Nebraska on Friday. Despite being 1-0 in conference play, Iowa actually has played another Big Ten team besides IU earlier in the season. It was an exhibition game, but Iowa played the Michigan Wolverines earlier in August in an exhibition that, of course, not part of the regular season and not part of Big Ten conference play. But interesting that Iowa and Michigan would face each other before the season. Carey sends it off of Maya Lambert, and Purdue gets it back. This is Musellem. Ahead for Ryan Dudica. Now Woodbeck playing it for Sabanagic. Sabanagic with speed, trying to get past Drakulik. Now Sabanagic trying to turn on the Jets, but Drakulik wins the ball for Iowa. And you can see why she was named the Defensive Player of the Week. Patrick sends that one out of bounds. A throw for Iowa upcoming. Blackman in the middle. Back to Riley Whitaker. Whitaker ahead. Fiegel. And now this is Allie Musellem. Musellem still on the ball. Into the middle for Dudica. Dudica with some space. Unable to get past Blackman. And Blackman moving things the other way for Iowa. Josie Durr has checked into the game for the Hawkeyes. She's 25 in yellow, wearing that cast on her right hand. And here she is marking Musellem, and that ball goes out of bounds. Last off of Iowa. So a throw for Purdue in front of the Iowa bench. Boilers have not been able to maintain any possession in the offensive third so far.
I feel like after Sabanagic took that shot on goal, Purdue has created more momentum. They've been on their side a lot more than they have within the past 15 minutes. So I guess that shot, kind of helped them a little bit.
Maybe give them a little shot of confidence,
For
if
sure.
you will. They're going up against a very confident and aggressive and experienced Iowa team. Whitaker to Faru, and Tafaru sends it out of bounds. Another throw for Purdue to come. This is the freshman Chloe Woodbeck. Eigelheimer to Blackman in the middle. Iowa reversing field. Now Drakulik with space. Challenged by Sabanagic, and Grace Walsh gets it for the Boilers. And Walsh has it knocked away from her by Drakulik, and it goes out of bounds off of Purdue. Another sub here for Iowa. Skylar Allward comes in, a sophomore from Littleton, Colorado. She checks out Olivia Fiegel. Lambert has it in the midfield for Purdue. Her pass intercepted by Isabella Blackman. Blackman's been all over the place here the last 20 minutes or so. Now Ware looking for Dudica. But it's Drakulik once again. Whitaker to Carey. Samantha Carey, the freshman, back to Isabella Blackman. A number of times we've seen Blackman flip the field, looking for those backs on the wings, either Drakulik or Samantha Carey. Now this is Gurley on the far side, working past Jones, and Walsh has trouble with it on the far side, but comes up with it against Gurley, and then finds Sabanagic. Back with Iowa. Gurley in the middle looking for Tafaru, and now Woodbeck has it for Purdue. Kind of some confusion here, this last little sequence for both teams.
They're just a little bit too close to each other, so they're trying to pass each other, but they're so close, so they have to make another option.
Gurley in the corner, able to get to it before it goes out, but Grace Walsh kicks it off of Gurley's shin, and this will be a throw here for Iowa. Another substitution for Iowa. Haley Ryberg comes into the game. She's going to check out Gianna Gurley. There you see Drew Roth in his 5th season with the team. Has had a lot of youth to deal with on this Purdue squad. Now some of the players that he recruited years ago starting to work into his system. Low ball for Bova that she had to scoop up right in front of her teammate Skylar Patrick, who went tumbling over Bova, but no problem for the sophomore. Under 10 to go here in the first half. Still no score. Now Dudica providing some pressure in the back end for Iowa. Now this is Chloe Woodbeck for Purdue, being chased down by Ryberg, but comes out to Masellum. Ball into the middle for Sabanagic, and she can't get there. And Drakulek just sends it over to the far side. Blackman with some speed across the midfield stripe, finds Ryberg. Ryberg has some space. Playing it to the near side, looking for Allward, but it was cleared out by Ware. Now Durr. Blackman and now Samantha Carey. Purdue playing some pretty stout defense themselves here in this game. That was Coach Roth's trademark, especially last year. They were a very defensive-minded team. And despite a losing record, they had an even goal differential. And now a platoon swap here for Purdue, including 2 seniors, Brady Riley, number 7, and Maddie Duncan, one of the captains, number 25 for Purdue. Skylar Giacobetti also coming in for the Boilers. There you see Dave Diani in his 6th season. Has been very successful with Iowa and is off to a great start here in 2019. Both coaches kind of in similar stages of building this program up and are at the phase now they need to maintain success.
Yeah, for sure. And also just the fact that, like, both teams, like, they have a good platoon of, like, each class grade. So I know for Iowa they have 12 seniors, but on top of that they have 10 and 12 sophomores and freshmen. So, like, as time goes on, they'll have, like, a deep connection with the team.
Heigelheimer into the box. Still on the ball and dribbles it over the end line, just out of bounds. But some great speed from Heigelheimer, a freshman from Ames, Iowa, playing in Iowa City. And now Olivia Helwig checks in, a sophomore from Cedar Rapids. She comes in for Blackman, who deserves a break after all the running around she was doing in that first half. Three shots so far for Iowa, 1 for Purdue. Iowa has had most of the possession so far, but they haven't had that many juicy scoring opportunities. Here's Tafaru. Nice poke there by Sydney Sparks. Now it's Skylar Giacobetti. Fresh legs into the game for Purdue. Being pressured by Carey, and Carey was all over Giacobetti, forcing that out of bounds. Giving her team some time to reset. Ware looking for Dudica here. Dudica in trouble. Tapping it off to Giacobetti, who plays it back for Ware. Ware ahead looking for Brady Riley, another one of the seniors. Riley has it. Was taken off the ball by Allward. And it comes back to Riley Whitaker. In the middle, this is Hellwig for Drakulik, and now Heigelheimer on the far side. Tafaru with 5:30 to go in the first half. Iowa, as they have been so far, methodically moving the ball down the field.
I was going more towards the outside first in order to get the inside look. They've actually had some pretty good looks inside. Surprising that they haven't gone in. But, you know, Mo Bova is just amazing, so that's probably why.
Bova has been very good in goal, and there was a nice defensive play by Grace Walsh. It's Maddie Duncan, one of the senior captains. Duncan takes a spill, but still able to get it back to Walsh. And now Durr for Ryberg, and back to Drakulik. Josie Durr gets the feed back from Tafaru. That shot didn't quite make it through the traffic, and it comes back out to Samantha Carey. Carey sends one towards the top of the box, and Patrick heads it back out of the danger area. Skylar Giacobetti to the near side for Brady Riley. Riley taken down by Carey, still trying to push it forward. It's one of the things we've seen from Brady Riley from her time here at Purdue, the ability to control the ball through contact. A very physical player, and that might suit her well in what could be a physical game here against Iowa. Hasn't been too bump and go so far. We've seen both teams keep their noses relatively clean.
Yeah, it's been a few stumbles, but that's just, you know, momentum. You're already in movement, so it's going to be hard to stop.
Right, nothing out of the ordinary so far. Ryberg almost had a run, but Sydney Sparks slid in at the last second. Now Hellwig plays it back for Drakulik. Hellwig once again to Samantha Carey. Carey to the near side. That's Allward into the box, and Purdue was there in time, as they have been so far on the afternoon. But it's back with Carey once again, and now Hellwig. Running the point for the Hawkeyes, just like Blackman was earlier in the game. Heigelheimer sends one into the top of the box, but Patrick sends it back out. Now a shot from Durr, and it's scooped up easily by Marissa Bova. No problem for Mo Bova once again. Although Iowa does manage a couple more shots on that possession. Tafaru getting it out to Heigelheimer. Under 3 minutes to go. Still waiting for our first goal in this game between Purdue and Iowa. Iowa looking to stay undefeated today. Purdue looking for their second Big Ten win. Drakulik to Hellwig. Being defended by Giacobetti, has to play it back to Whitaker. Riley Whitaker, now pestered by Dudica, hands it off to Carey, and now Allward. Allward playing it up. This is Ryberg. Ryberg into the middle. Tafaru got one towards the net, but it was blocked in front, and now Durr has it knocked away. A high ball from Heigelheimer, and Bova puts an end to the nonsense and just catches that in the air. Bit of a dangerous sequence there. Hawkeyes putting some pressure on the home team Boilermakers.
Yeah, for sure. Earlier in that sequence, one of the players ran in front of Bova.
There's the high ball.
Yeah.
That wasn't quite, I don't think, the play that you were referring to.
Yeah, I know. It was a little bit before that, but
Right.
it looked a little bit sketchy, but it's a good thing the Purdue player was able to kick it out in the right
I
direction.
believe that was Sydney Sparks, the freshman. Under 1:30 to go. Julia Ware with speed, still on the ball. Ware looking for Riley up the middle. Ware still on it for Purdue. And a good sliding tackle that time by Riley Whitaker. And now Brady Riley tackles Skylar Allward hard. It'll be a foul against Riley and Purdue. And Riley knew it right away. Making sure Allward's okay. Allward is up and running, and we're good to go with just over 60 seconds here in the first half. The clock has stopped at Folk Field at 1:05. So there's 1:05 on the clock right now. And now we're running. On the far side for Heigelheimer. Playing it back, Drakulik. Helwig and now Carey on the near side. Carey playing one towards the middle, and Skylar Patrick able to clear it out for Purdue. Patrick and Sparks have been good in the middle for the Boilermakers here in the first half. They've been bombarded with these crosses from Iowa and balls into the top of the box, and each time they've maintained their position fairly well. Now a ball deflected out of bounds, and we have a corner here. Under 10 seconds to go, and the clock is running. Excuse me, a free kick. Whitaker has to hurry, and that's blocked by Brady Riley, and that is how the first half will end. 0-0. 5 shots for Iowa, just 1 for Purdue, but nothing on the scoreboard. Both teams trying to go 2-0 in conference play, but right now, no blood on the scoreboard. We'll get you the second half of action when we come back here on BTN Plus. No score here at Folk Field. Iowa and Purdue locked at 0. Both teams looking to go 2-0 in conference play. Purdue coming off of a win Friday night against Nebraska, and then Iowa 2 days ago had a win against Indiana. There you see the first half stats. It was mostly Iowa with a few shots over Purdue. We had a yellow card called as well just at the end of the half. This was the tackle that Brady Riley committed on Skylar Allward, and Riley was awarded a yellow card. So that we did have a card issued to Brady Riley, one of the seniors that was honored here today on Senior Day at Folk Field. But other than that, it's been a pretty quiet first half of action between Purdue and Iowa. What do you expect to change, Unique, here in the second stanza?
I'm just really expecting both teams to attack more now that they've had the first half of the game out of the way. As we see, Iowa has 5 shots and 3 corner kicks, opposed to Purdue's 1 shot, 1 corner kick. So I'm really expecting Purdue just to attack more. Try not to be as defensive as Iowa because they are known to be defensive. But yeah, that's what I expect.
Right off the bat, we get a turnover, and it goes to Sarah Griffiths and Purdue. Now it's Liana Rabimbis. Back for Allie Melky, playing a long ball ahead for Sarah Griffiths. Griffith in the corner. And taken down on the play by Sarah Wheaton, and a foul is called against Purdue. So it'll be a free kick for Iowa. There you see, it looked like Griffith went to the ground and then kind of pulled Wheaton with her. So Graves will send it away from a couple yards off that end line in her own territory. This ball goes out of bounds. There's a throw for Purdue. Walsh will take it. Walsh looking for Rabimbis, and this is Wheaton. Devin Burns, the leading scorer for Iowa. Back to Isabella Blackman being pestered by Chloe Woodbeck. And now it's Wheaton again. Drakulik ahead, but Skylar Patrick gets there for Purdue, and Griffith looking for Allie Melky. Melky tripped up by Blackman, and we get a whistle. But not much offense in that first half. Both teams playing pretty disciplined defense. Purdue many times defended well the crosses into the box from Iowa. No real scoring chances from either side that made you gasp or lose your breath a little bit. Walsh off the set piece towards the top of the box. Rabimbis has it on her foot. Able to get it over to Melchiori. A high ball for Sparks towards the net and in. The freshman, Sydney Sparks, and the Boilers strike first here at Folk Field. Off the ball from Melchiori, Sydney Sparks heads it past Claire Graves. And it's 1-0 in favor of the Boilers.
That play was definitely one of the plays we had expected to see within the first half. Both teams have really good through balls, but Purdue was just open in that one, so they just got the open header.
That all started off the set piece and the free kick from Grace Walsh. It landed with Liana Rabimbis. Rabimbis back to Melchiori. Then Melchiori with a very crafty ball over the defense. And Sydney Sparks, the freshman, was able to head it home past Claire Graves. Now it's Kaylee Hawes trying to get around Sydney Duarte. Iowa on the attack with Devin Burns. The Hawkeyes looking to respond. Burns, near side of the box, into the middle, but too far for Blackman. Hawkeyes still have it. Winters plays it back. Second goal of the season for Sydney Sparks. Ball into the middle. Bouncing around, Winters gets to it, but the shot is blocked by Sydney Duarte. And now Drakulik on the attack. Drakulik towards the net, and Bova handles it easily on a lofted shot that maybe was meant to find a teammate. Marissa Bova makes the stop. Goal just a couple minutes into the second half from Sydney Sparks, the freshman from Carlsbad, California. Her second of the season. Also scored against DePaul back on August 29th, a 3-0 win for Purdue.
Yeah, that Sydney Sparks goal with DePaul, that was the one that made #1 on ESPN Women's.
That's right. Purdue's made ESPN's top 10 a couple of times now.
Looks like an offside, but that was a really good play.
Flag is just up. Rabimbis barely past that last defender. This is a play of the goal, no doubt, a BTN standout play from the freshman Sydney Sparks. I believe the assist will go to Melchiori and Rabimbis on the play. Blackman to the back line. Sarah Wheaton ahead looking for Devin Burns, and Patrick plays it back, but Winters gets there for Iowa. Natalie Winters for Kaylee Hawes in the near side corner, and Grace Walsh ushers it out of bounds. It's last touched by Hawes, and Iowa throw for Purdue upcoming. There you see, it looks like it just went off of Kaylee Hawes. A little bit of contact down along the near side. Iowa has scored first in 8 of their 9 contests so far. So today marks only the second game in which the Hawkeyes have played where they have not scored first. The other game where they did not score first was against Illinois State back on September 1st. Iowa won that game 4-3. This is Sarah Griffith. Still on the ball, past Burns, and now playing it ahead for Rabimbis. Now Melchiori on the far side. Anna Melchiori being worked on by Samantha Carey. Tough play from Carey on defense, and that rolls over the end line, and it will be a corner kick for Purdue, their second of the day. Allie Melke will take it for Purdue. So after a very offensively stagnant first half for Purdue, Purdue puts a goal up in the first few minutes of the second half and now has another corner opportunity. Melke towards the back post, and Graves got a paw on it. Duarte sends one towards the net, and that misses wide. Duarte trying to argue that it was deflected, but it'll be a goal kick for Claire Graves in Iowa. There's a look at that last play. Looked like Melky was trying to connect with Sparks once again, and then Duarte had a look, but couldn't square it up. Kaylee Hawes has the ball dislodged from her by Duarte and Griffith, but it comes back to Iowa. This is Blackman. And now Whitaker. Wheaton looking for some help. Able to get it up to Hawes and Natalie Winters in the midfield. Winters awful quick with the ball. And Iowa flips it over to Samantha Carey. Purdue very content to just kind of morph their defensive formation with Iowa's attack. And now Sparks defending Devin Burns. Ball in near the top of the box. Winters has a little bit of space along the near side. Taken off the ball, though, by Walsh. And it's cleared away by Duarte for the moment. Blackman up to Devin Burns. Burns turns and fires, and Bova doesn't need to make a save. It sails out of bounds. Bova sends it deep. That's Melky working for it against Isabella Blackman, and the ball goes back to Hannah Drakulik. And we get a foul called against Melky and Purdue. Free kick for Iowa. Talked about Hannah Drakulik, number 17, along that back line for the Iowa defense, and the type of offensive ability that she possesses. 4 goals and an assist on the season so far, but has not really been a big part of the Iowa offense so far. We've seen her mostly involved in the defensive efforts for the visitors from Iowa City. Walsh with the overhand toss, trying to get it to Rabimbas. Ball bouncing around to the midfield. And now ahead, Winters. And the ball is kicked aside by Sydney Sparks. Nice defending by the freshman. Josie Durr is into the game for Coach Dewani in Iowa. Maya Lambert getting ready to check in for Purdue. Throw from Drakulik, bounces past Winters, and Skylar Patrick sends it down the near sideline. Drakulik back on it, and Sarah Griffith gets it for Purdue. Now Natalie Winters for Devin Burns in the corner. Burns crossing one in, low into the box. Burr trying to get to it and has a tough angle, now plays it back for Blackman. Her shot doesn't make it through, and Skylar Patrick sends it away. One of the more threatening sequences that Iowa has had in this game so far.
Especially the players who got contact with the balls are their main scorers, and good thing Purdue's defense was just there because it could have went bad in those situations.
Not sure who quite got the deflection in front, but it was Skylar Patrick who booted that ball out of the Purdue defensive third. Iowa still with a heavy advantage in shots, as you can see. Now Burns trying to get to it, but once again, Sydney Sparks thwarts the offensive run from Iowa. And a foul is called now against Sparks and Purdue, I believe. Natalie Winters will take this free kick for Iowa. Winters, a senior from Plymouth, Michigan. One of 12 seniors on this squad. A low ball towards the net, and Bova scoops it up. No issue for her. Purdue in no hurry to get anything set up here on offense. And now Julia Ware ahead as the ball changes hands. Purdue looking for their second conference win. They took down Nebraska back on Friday. A goal in the 36th minute from Liana Rabimbis. Both teams had 8 shots in that game. Purdue with 4 shots on goal. They limited the Cornhuskers to just 1 shot on goal in that game. It was the 5th shutout for Mo Bova. And now a foul called against Iowa as Melky hits the deck, and Purdue will be awarded a free kick.
So far in the game, Iowa has 4 fouls.
There you see. I believe that was Natalie Winters. Julia Ware to take the free kick. High ball. No chance a Purdue player could get a head on it. But it does bounce over Jenny Cape on that far side. And Purdue will have a throw. Maya Lambert coming into the game for Allie Melky now. Still at 1-0 with more than 30 minutes left to go in this one. Still a lot of soccer left to be played. Walsh finds Duarte here on the near side, but Drakulik is there in defense for Iowa, and a foul is called against Sydney Duarte, the sophomore. Duarte from Lake Forest, California, being a little bit physical there with Iowa. And I don't think the Hawkeyes have been as physical as we thought they might be in this game. Purdue's been the team that was awarded the yellow and has been getting called for a lot of fouls, it seems like. And we talked about it earlier. Nothing out of the ordinary physicality-wise from the Hawkeyes in this game. And you wonder if that's been limiting their offensive production as well, and if that physicality that they express on defense is part of what makes them so dynamic on offense.
You know, it might be. I'm actually very surprised. Iowa only has 4 fouls. Purdue has 9, which is kind of different.
It's the opposite of what we thought it would be.
It's the opposite of, you know, how we thought. But it could just be Purdue's just being very aggressive because they know Iowa was going to be aggressive.
This will be a throw for Drakulik and Iowa.
Hey, post.
And Drakulik, the Canadian, calling out some instructions, looking for Jenny Cape. And now Lambert able to send it away towards Rabimbis, and Rabimbis wins the ball for Purdue. Rabimbis still on it after a collision. Liana Rabimbis, the freshman, a long lead ahead for the speedster Hannah Melchiori on the far side. Melchiori trying to send it into the box, but a rather poor effort on that one, not where she wanted to put that ball.
It's a little bit too soft. It was a good cross, but it was just a little bit too soft.
Purdue's back on it with Sydney Duarte, talented sophomore. Now the ball taking some weird spins. Bounces back to Kaylee Hawes, and Hawes hits the Bermuda grass playing surface here at Folk Field after a collision with Liana Rabimbis. This is Rabimbis, a little bit soft right there, but definitely some contact from Rabimbis, and Hawes hits the ground. A foul is called. This is Wheaton for Burr, and Burr dropping it off for Hawes. Kaylee Hawes. Looks like she almost pushed down Grace Walsh. Hawes tried to cross it in, but Walsh deflects it out of bounds past the end line. It will be a corner for Iowa, their 4th of the afternoon. see Walsh just getting in front of that to prevent the scoring chance.
It's got to be driven right in the near post. Okay?
Whitaker will take the corner for Iowa from this near side. Bova has been aggressive when the ball's been in the air on these corners, trying to punch it out of the box. Whitaker with a low ball, trying to play it short, and it is knocked out by Melchiori. We'll get another corner. This will be the 5th for Iowa.
Corner kick number 5, Whitaker.
Pretty easy defensive work for Melchiori. You can see her on the right side of your screen, guarding that short play from Whitaker. Now a line drive off a deflection, and it flutters past the far post. Looked like it might have been off a Hawkeye, hard to tell. And I believe we're going to get another corner. So off of Purdue and out of bounds, and this will be Natalie Winters to take it now.
Corner kick for the Hawkeyes, number 10, Natalie Winters.
Winters sends this one off the side of the cage. So not the greatest execution on 2 corner kicks for Iowa. They miss out on potential scoring opportunities. Substitutions for the Hawkeyes. Heigelheimer checks into the game, along with Emma Tokuyama.
You know, you just talked about how, corner kicks didn't work that well. We've actually seen it on Iowa's side for both sides of the game, where they'll shoot one corner kick and it ends up on the other side, and it's less effective as the first one.
Graves gets the ball and sends it out of bounds. Purdue will have a throw. No substitutions yet for Purdue in this first half besides Maya Lambert, or second half rather. Lambert checked in for Melky. We did get to see the seniors, or a couple seniors at least, get some action in the first half for Purdue. Ryan Dudica, Maddie Duncan, Brady Riley all checked in at one point. It is senior day here at Folk Field. Purdue honoring a number of their seniors. This is Wheaton. Drakulik ahead looking for Burns. A tackle from Walsh, and she plays it off the ground to Lambert, and Lambert sends it all the way down. And it just barely trickles out of bounds. It'll be a throw deep within Hawkeye territory. Drakulik will toss it in. Now Blackman. Under 26 minutes to go in this one, still 1-0 Purdue. After the goal from the freshman Sydney Sparks. Just a couple minutes in to the second half. Julia Ware working against Jenny Cape in the corner. Cape still battling for it and is able to play it back to Carey, but it goes out of bounds off of Iowa. A throw for Julia Ware and Purdue. Now Sarah Griffith with a nifty move around Carey, but it comes back out to Winters and the Hawkeyes. Cape on the far side. Back to Samantha Carey, and now Riley Whitaker. Sarah Wheaton. Iowa working it along their back line. Drakulik to Heigelheimer, now back to Drakulik. This is Tokuyama. Blackman, just a little pitch and catch here from this Iowa midfield in defense. Tokuyama with a nice move to get it to Heigelheimer. Now Heigelheimer cutting in, top of the box for Tokuyama. Knocked off the ball there. I believe that was Skylar Patrick, and Patrick slides once again to knock it back to the defensive line of Iowa. Drakulik had that pass intercepted by Woodbeck. And Woodbeck with a pass through the legs to Liana Rabimbis, and Purdue can counter. Rabimbis trying to get around Blackman, and a foul is called against Isabella Blackman and Iowa. Here's the contact. You see Rubimbis kind of angling her body to draw that contact and forcing Blackman to run into her almost.
Yeah, it's definitely a nice play on Rubimbis, you know, just defending the ball as well as best as you can. So
It'll be a free kick taken by Maya Lambert. Lambert a little frustrated, it looked like, just going to play it back. Now this is Julia Ware. Ware didn't get that one through the Iowa midfield, and Devin Burns is on it. Winters. Her dribble interrupted by Melchiori, and it's Jenny Cape on the far side now for Iowa. Back to Carey. Dokuyama back for Whitaker. Iowa, we used the word methodical earlier, but very almost slow and deliberate in pushing the ball into Purdue's defensive zone. Aaron pass there from the back line, and now Purdue subs in 2 players, Enna Sabanagic and Ali Melki. Melki checks back in. She replaces Sarah Griffith, and Sabanagic comes in for the freshman Liana Rubimbis. We had some youngsters taking shots at goal at halftime here at Folk Field. Here's Ali Melki trying to get past Sarah Wheaton. Wheaton just sends it out of bounds. But during halftime here at Folk Field, we had a number of youth soccer players all kicking it at one net on the north end, and one lone soccer player that was dribbling the ball all the way from midfield by himself. The youngster had to have been about 2 or 3 years old.
yeah, I think so. I think he was the smart one.
Yeah.
You know, he wanted the goal to himself.
Yeah, he was shooting on the empty net on the south end all by himself. Now this is Melki back to Tegan Jones. Chloe Woodbeck in the near side corner, playing it towards the middle, but no harm for Claire Graves. She scoops it up and slings it downfield for Winters. Winters run down by Melchiori. She has to play it back. At what point does this Iowa attack become a little bit more urgent here in the second half?
That's actually a good question, because right now they're trying to slow it down, have shorter passes, but like I think once they figure out how to work the outside passes on the Purdue's defensive end, I think that's when it will work.
Now some contact. Tokuyama takes a spill, and there's a foul called against Purdue. See there the contact. Looked like Maya Lambert got there a little late. Heigelheimer getting it into the box, but Skylar Patrick and Maya Lambert there in defense for Purdue. Patrick has been there at the very last second for the Boilermakers time and time again on that defensive line. Now this is Julia Ware defending against Jenny Cape. Ware getting it up to Melchiori, and nicely so, but Melchiori plays it out of bounds. This will be a throw for Iowa. Or excuse me, it'll be a throw for Purdue. Tossed in by Julia Ware. And Tokuyama gets it back to Blackman. Drakulik on the near side. The Gunners for Iowa have been quiet in this game so far. Drakulik, Winters, along with Devin Burns, number 30. Some of their leading goal scorers haven't really had that many looks at the net thus far. This is Drakulik now, the senior from Ontario. Working against Tegan Jones. Now Heigelheimer, she's been active, and she goes down, tripped up by Chloe Woodbeck, and a foul is called. Iowa will get a set piece here in a potentially dangerous area. Here's the contact, just a little bit on the foot from Chloe Woodbeck, and that's all it took to draw the whistle. Set piece will be taken by Riley Whitaker. Whitaker with that ball just almost a yard or so off the sideline. Towards the box, bouncing around, and Iowa couldn't get it towards Bova. Lambert fighting for it. Now Winters able to get it back for the Hawkeyes. Heigelheimer has it. Send one towards the far post and too far. Out of the reach of Bova and out of bounds. And now 3 subs will come in for Iowa. Kaylee Hawes along with Gianna Gurley and also Leah Moss. Drakulik takes a seat along with Heigelheimer and Jenny Cape. So a nice chance there from Iowa. Looked like it might have been Julia Ware that got a foot in there at the last second for Purdue to steer that towards the corner. About 18 minutes to go. Iowa down 1-0 to Purdue here at Folk Field. Burns near the top of the 18 for Gurley. Gurley trying to thread the needle through that Purdue defense, but Skylar Patrick gets it and sends one deep looking for Anna Sabanagic. And Graves gets there, coming off her line to send it high the other way. Now Lambert sends it back towards the offensive end for Purdue, and it's Melke trying to get past Whitaker. Melke ahead for Sabanagic. Beautiful ball. Sabanagic in the box. Tackled. No call. Clean work defensively from Riley Whitaker. Drew Roth and the Purdue sideline is livid. We continue on here. Still 1-0. Woodbeck unable to keep it in bounds. Here was the play. That was actually Samantha Carey on the slide. Looked like maybe Coach Roth and the Purdue sideline had a legitimate gripe. It was hard to see if Carey got the ball first from that angle in the box.
Because Carey was behind Sabanagic, so I couldn't see if this tackle was from the back, like behind her, or if it was just from the player in front.
Leah Moss to Tokiyama. Now Whitaker. Carey. She was the one that provided that defense at the last second against Sabanagic. But how about that ball from Ali Melke to Enna Sabanagic? A pass that went through a few Iowa defenders and ended up on the cleats of Enna Sabanagic, one of the seniors on this Purdue squad.
That one was just a really good through ball. You know, we've seen a few of those from Purdue, and, you know, that was one that could have been converted.
Now Carey sends one towards the box, and Burns couldn't get there. It was headed out by Walsh. Burns took a hit after the play, but no whistle. And now Leah Moss able to keep it in bounds and gets it back to Sarah Wheaton. Under 16 to go. Purdue hanging on to a 1-0 lead that they earned just at the start of the second half off the head of Sydney Sparks, the freshman. Moss on the near side sends one towards the middle of the box. Tokiyama gets a piece of it, but it bounces out, and now Kaylee Hawes loses it to Hannah Melchiori, and Melchiori once again booms it for Sabanagic, and Enna Sabanagic can't get there before it bounces out of bounds. Some subs for both sides. Entering the game now for Iowa, Samantha Tafaru, along with Josie Durr checking back in, and Sydney Duarte comes in for Chloe Woodbeck for Purdue. Burns and Tokiyama come off for the Hawkeyes. Interesting to see how both Coach Dave Diani and Drew Roth for Iowa and Purdue respectively use their substitutions here late in the game. A ball looking for Tafaru, but Bova is there. Lands on it, and she'll get ready to send it away. Bova sends a big one down the other way. Purdue likes to use Sabanagic as that countering attacker with her speed and craftiness down the field. She can provide real problems for teams that are over aggressive on offense. This is Tafaru. Working it ahead, looking for Kaylee Haas. Haas trying to track it down, but is boxed out by Julia Ware. And a lot of contact there near the end line. And I believe a foul is called against Haas and Iowa. Looked like he could have called that either way. But the foul was called a little bit earlier, and it's against Iowa. Bova sends it out of bounds, so the Hawkeyes will get a throw. And now with just over 13 minutes to go, each of these little turnovers becomes more and more important. A ball into the middle from Tafaru is sent back out by Sparks. And Ware kicks this out of bounds. Hawes. Ahead for carry, and now it's Hawes once again, and good defending by Julia Ware. She is stout on that back line. Hard contact in the midfield. Sabanagic goes down, and it's a foul against Iowa. Purdue will get a free kick. Purdue has had hardly any sustained presence in the Iowa defensive end really since that goal, and any scoring chance has been off of a counter. Purdue very aggressive. You see the fouls for each side. Purdue's been called for a number of them. Iowa's taken a little bit of a step back in the physicality department, like we've said a couple times this afternoon. And they trail 1-0. Here's Melchiori to Lambert. In the midfield for Jones. But it's worked away nicely by Gurley. Gurley stripped of the ball by Duarte, and a foul is called against Sydney Duarte and Purdue. Coach Drew Roth hates the call. But Iowa's back on it. It'll be a free kick from just outside that midfield circle. This is Leah Moss. Gianna Gurley trying to get past Duarte, and it's out of bounds off of Gurley. And a throw for Purdue. Sabanagic plays it into the middle. This is Isabella Blackman. Now Carey with lots of space. Gets it ahead for Kaylee Hawes. Iowa needing to get something going here, down 1-0. Trying to avoid their first loss of the season. This is Jones. Run down by Leah Moss, and Leah Moss wins the ball for Iowa. Great work by one of the substitutes for the Hawkeyes. Moss, a senior from Plymouth, Michigan. She gets it to Blackman. Now Samantha Carey. This is Hawes once again. Into the middle. Looking for Durs, and that's headed out by Patrick. Now a shot from Hawes, blocked by Skylar Patrick. Tafaru, near the edge of the 18. Some physical play with Julia Ware. Plays it back for Kaylee Hawes. In the corner here, and that's tapped out of bounds by Maya Lambert. This will be a corner opportunity for the Hawkeyes. Under 10 to go.
We discussed earlier on how Iowa was playing a little bit slower, and of course you can see the urgency is kicking in because there is less than 10 minutes left, so they're going to try to get a goal as quickly as possible.
Winters to take this one. Right towards the middle, and Patrick got ahead on it once again for Purdue. Melchiori along the far side on the counterattack, looking for Melchi in the middle. And we have a foul called against Iowa. Hannah Melchiori still down on the turf. after she made the pass up to Ali Melki. And now you see Melchiori getting to her feet. Here's the contact. Melchiori going down, but seems to be okay, jogging it off on the far side. Ware finds Duarte with space. Tegan Jones. Now Grace Walsh ahead for Sabanagic. Sabanagic bobbing and weaving in the middle. Now playing it to the near side for Duarte. Duarte across in, looking for Melchiori, and she was edged out by Samantha Carey. Now Hawes trying to counter for the Hawkeyes. Iowa needing a goal. And Hawes up the middle, running past Melki. Now a ball a little bit short of Gurley, and Gurley with a bad touch on it, and it comes back out to Purdue, but it's taken away by Whitaker again for Iowa. Whitaker, her pass intercepted by Skylar Patrick. For Sabanagic at the midfield stripe. Sabanagic turns the corner and gets upfield. And is dragged down from behind by Leah Moss. We get a stoppage in play, and I think we're going to get a yellow card here, at least for Leah Moss. And it is indeed. Yeah, Moss dragging Sabanagic down from behind. A yellow is assigned to Moss. That's the 8th yellow card of the season that Iowa has been called for. One nothing with under 8 to go. The clock is stopped at 7:40. The ball in from Lambert is headed way up in the air by Melchiori and past the end, lined out of bounds. So it'll be a goal kick. 3 players checking in: Birds, Heigelheimer, and Drakulik. 3 of the heavy hitters for the Hawkeyes. Dave Diani bringing in his horses, needing something to get going offensively for Iowa. Winters in the middle, can't get to it, and now Melchiori is back on it. Not very many substitutions in this half for Purdue and Coach Drew Roth. There's one of them, Enna Sabanagic, trying to chase down that ball in the corner, but it'll be a goal kick. But oftentimes we see Coach Roth and Purdue mixing in multiple players into the action, especially in the second half. We haven't seen that as much here this afternoon.
I think he was just pretty much fine with how the team's playing right now. And the ones he did sub in are the ones he knew that he could use the most. Like Sabanagic, she's just been attacking. She has the speed to beat Iowa, which is, kind of confusing them a little bit.
Drakulik with nice defending, but the ball is bent down the near sideline by Tegan Jones. And it barely rolls over the end line. A goal kick upcoming. Graves hurrying. She knows that Iowa does not have much time here. 6 minutes to go in this one. Chloe Woodbeck checks in for Ali Melki. Woodbeck, another one of these freshmen that has been starting for Coach Drew Roth. It's been Woodbeck, Sparks, and Liana Rabimbis. And they've been difference makers as well. Sparks, the difference maker in this one so far, with the only goal so far. Drakulik tossing it down, and it's headed back out by Walsh. Drakulik tosses it in, looking for Heigelheimer. Patrick is there on the defense for Purdue, and Patrick just sends it out of bounds. Drakulik has that pass intercepted by Duarte, but a difficult touch on it from Patrick, and now a tough read from Tegan Jones. Unfortunately for Purdue, it comes back out away from the 18-yard box, but some bad touches there from Purdue almost led to a chance for Iowa. Sabanagic battling for the ball on her senior day. And this ball heads out of bounds. It'll be a throw for Purdue. Walsh Tossing it in. Ball in the midfield, and Hawes heads it up in the air. This is Carey, and now Blackman. Pass just out of the reach of Hannah Drakulik. It'll be another throw for Purdue, and tick-tock, tick-tock. Time continues to melt off the clock here at Folk Field with these misfires on the back end for Iowa. It was Durr, now Winters ahead for Hawes, but Julia Ware is there to intercept the pass and work it ahead for Woodbeck. Woodbeck can't control it, but Julia Ware comes up from her defensive spot and gets it back. Now it's Sydney Duarte. Duarte into the near side corner for Purdue as the ball knocked away by Hannah Drakulik, and this will be a throw for Purdue in the offensive third. Purdue has lost twice to ranked teams already this year. They've lost to South Carolina and Kansas. Ball knocking around in the corner, and eventually it comes out to the near side. Burns chasing it, but she can't get there in time. It'll be another throw for Purdue. Duarte towards Sabanagic, and out of bounds once again. Subs into the game for Iowa, Emma Takayama and Leah Moss. You check out Josie Durr and Kaylee Hawes. Hawes has been active today, as you saw her running off, but hasn't been able to send much towards the Purdue net. Sarah Wheaton tracking it down, and she guards it for Claire Graves, who flips the field and gets it up to Whitaker. Whitaker blowing past Chloe Woodbeck. Now up ahead for Takayama, who flicks it over to Carey, but Julia Ware cuts that pass out nicely. Carey throwing it in for Burns. Iowa pushing it into the offensive third, but once again Julia Ware is there on the defense for Purdue. And now Carey back for Whitaker. And now Heigelheimer. Blackman in the middle to Carey on the wing. Carey crossing a ball into the middle. Moss almost got a head on it, but then Sparks sends it back out towards the top of the box, and Tegan Jones sends it to Heigelheimer. She tries a shot. Little too much on that one from Heigelheimer, and it'll be a goal kick for Bova and Purdue. Under 80 seconds to go between Purdue and Iowa. Iowa still leading in shots, but Purdue with the one that counted. Came just a minute or so into the second half. From Sydney Sparks off the feed from Hannah Melchiori, who received it from Liana Rabimbis. About 40 seconds left. Purdue trying to milk away the rest of this one. And a stoppage, I believe that's a handball against Whitaker. It'll go back to Purdue. The Boilers can smell it here at Folk Field. This will be their first win over a ranked opponent this season. Number 19, Iowa, coming into West Lafayette. Lambert sends it away. Sabanagic towards the goal, and Graves, the Indiana native, scoops it up. Boots it all the way down, and that's it from Folk Field here on Senior Day. Purdue victorious 1-0 over the 19th ranked Iowa Hawkeyes. Boilers getting a goal from Sydney Sparks, and that was all they needed in this one. Iowa has a home match against Illinois, and next for Purdue on the 27th, they take on Michigan. That'll be this upcoming Friday. Purdue 1-0 with a win over a ranked opponent, the 19th ranked Iowa Hawkeyes. The Hawkeyes led in shots and shots on goal and corners, but Purdue was able to get the one shot that mattered, and it came from Sydney Sparks, the freshman who's the hero tonight, or today on Senior Day at Folk Field. 1-0, the final score. For Mike Folty, Unique Beaver, and our entire BTN crew, we wish you a great rest of your Sunday from here in West Lafayette.